Hello and welcome to another Top Producer webinar. Here we are once again with our Mastering Your CRM expert live coaching session with your actual expert, Heather, who will be doing the majority of the talking, and me as the Muppet that she tells what to do, and my name is Glenn. Today we're going to go over a few of the cool and new aspects of the software that'll make your life easier and better. And for the most of it, you're going to have the much more personable Heather running the thing. And like I said, I'm just going to be her Muppet in the background that she controls and tells what to do. So again,
I'm gonna try. I think he likes it when I take control. So, with that being said, he's gonna share his screen. I'm gonna get him to click along, and hopefully, you are also clicking along on your screen as well.
yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and let us know via the chat. And if you need to know where the chat is, it's just down in the bottom. It just says chat there in Zoom. And wow, I forgot how to speak again, Heather. It's too early. If you chat with us, we will make sure that we answer. It'll either be one of us answering in chat or on the video, but we love interactive questions because we want to know what you need to know about the software. We could talk
Absolutely.
all day and tell you things, but what you need to know is the important part. Right, Heather?
Absolutely. And this is kind of like your chance to get like those questions answered, and then we can show you as well. So definitely make it interactive, and let's kind of dive in. Usually we're going to start with the settings. Now, if you have joined us before in the past, we used to offer a couple more webinars. We had a getting started one, and then things you wanted to know after you get set up. I just feel like this time we kind of go over everything now. Hopefully you've already signed in. You got your username and password after you've purchased Top Producer if you're brand new. Also, if you're an older user of 8i and you're coming over to TPX, please let us know if you have any questions about that as well. And we'll make sure to guide you the best we can. But we are kind of hoping that you've already gone into your settings. Now, if you haven't gone into your settings and set up, and or if you're stuck on something, again, this is where you're going to ask us for help, and we will make sure that we kind of really focus on that. But otherwise, you're going to get your username and password sent to you in your email. Sign into the CRM. You're going to go to crm.topproducer.com, where you're going to log in, and it will direct you to add contacts. I always suggest adding yourself as a contact. That way you can kind of really test out the machine, or sorry, test out the program, play around with it, send yourself emails, and that's the best way to get to learn it. Even having us like go through it with you, you're really going to learn it by actually getting in here and using it.
So one of the things we want to go over right off the bat, you always say in this world, it's good to have support and have somebody that's got your back. So as this slide here says, don't worry, we have you. Our super friendly team, which I like to say is still all human. We have no robots answering anything at this time. Our robot overlords have not taken over as of yet.
Yes.
But we do have multiple ways to get support. In all of our programs in the bottom right, you're going to see a chat now button. It looks like a speech bubble from the old comics. You click on that, and when you chat with our team, it is, like I say, humans right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
After that, if for some reason they are unable to assist you, which they are a very high quality team that knows the software very well, if they can't get something fixed, we'll have one of our senior techs reach out to you by phone to assist. We also have our support.topproducer.com website, which does have the capabilities for you to search and find information right there. So you have basically your frequently asked questions right at your hand anytime you need. Now, because I'm on the West Coast, I always say Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is when we work. And then I'm reminded, because Heather's East Coast, that I should also say on the East, it's 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time or Eastern Standard Time. Which one are we in right now? Are we in Daylight or Standard? I keep forgetting. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
not sure. But
we're
we're going to
there.
be changing time soon, I think.
Yes, I'd love to get rid of that changes. Although I do like to fall back because I get an extra hour of sleep one day. But yeah, we're here to help, and we'll do that through this and through that support there. Okay, back to you, Heather.
So let's begin. I love this. Let's begin your journey. So again, like I said, you've already signed in, hoping you've gone over your settings. Just quickly, if you haven't, when you sign in, you have two different places to get to your settings. In the bottom left corner, as well as the top right corner. In the top right corner, you may have your picture already added. If not, it looks like a little silhouette, and you just click on there, and in the drop down, it says settings. So you're going to go through there, and I do recommend under settings, you'll have tabs listed, and go through each tab one by one, put as much information as you can in there. This is kind of what it's going to look like here. Nope, sorry. This is what you're going to add into your settings. So yeah, so you have your settings here. You're going to go through each of these columns. And the more important ones you really want to make sure you have is email integration, your email signature when you send out that email. If you are a part of an MLS board that we support, you definitely want to set up your MLS credentials. Absolutely. So yeah, go through this. We're hoping that by now you've already gone through all of this and you've set yourself up. And again, if there's something that is not working for you, it's not setting up and you're stuck, please let us know. One thing that I do want to point out here too, Glenn is on my information. Anything that you put in here on this page does get put onto your marketing. So please don't use your home address. Make sure you put your office address in. If you work from home and you don't have an office address, just put your city. You don't want to maybe hand out your street address to the public. So again, all this information does go into marketing. So just be careful what you put on there. Okay.
She's good. I like to say it's better to put just enough information to allow them to get it, but we don't want you to give out your home address, because in this day and age, the less people know where you live, the better. Yeah, so that's definitely a good point there that Heather brought up. Joe, I'll make sure, since you are a viewer, I can make sure you get an email with the information. The usual location is youtube.com/top producer software. Or is it just top producer? I don't remember off the top of my head, but let me see if I can find that really quickly. But yes, we always put the videos up on YouTube. Let me grab that link, and I'll get Heather to go on to probably this one, because it is one of her favorites.
So we have a few things here. We have the follow-up coach, task plans. That's just other ways to reach out to your customers as well, to follow up with them. So there's a couple things here. You're going to notice when you're signed in on your main dashboard at the top of the bar, there's a tab called follow-up coach. Now, if you've already added customers in here, you do have to have customers added, more than 5, and I believe have added for more than a day. And if that's the case, if you go click on your follow-up coach, you're going to notice that you have 5 customers that you can reach out to. Now, this is great to use if you're just not sure who to reach out to, but just going in there daily and even a couple times a day and send off a quick email or a quick text and mark that you've followed up with them. It's a good way to stay on top of your customers and make sure that you're putting your name out there, you're not leaving them behind. So, and that's something you want to do, even though you've sold a house to them maybe a year or 2 years ago, you still kind of want to keep your name in front of them, see how things are going. Same thing with tasks and plans manager. So with plans manager, you can create like what you may know as your drip campaigns, and these can be like automated emails that are sent out. It's also another way to continue to follow up with your customers. So with that being said, in the marketing, awesome. Thank you, Glenn. So in the marketing under task plan managers, you can go in here and create your own plans. There's also a few already available for you that you can use and customize. So just browse templates, click on here, and there's a few already created plans. I always suggest, it's a good starting point, and then customize it to fit you and your business. Now, with that being said as well, when you're doing a plan, likely it's going to be emails that you're adding to your plan. So you also want to start right beside task plan managers in your template library to get some of those emails created. Again, you can add from scratch, but we have a ton of templates already available for you to use. So definitely use these, and again, customize them. They're great content, but it is very generic, and so it doesn't really say much to you and your business. So this is where you kind of want to put like your own touch onto it. Maybe the way it ends, it's not how you would say things. And so you just want to click the customize, and make the changes. Exactly. And make this email sound like it's coming from you and your business. Anything you want to add to that, Glenn?
The one thing I would always recommend is when you do make an edit or update or even a change to a template, personalize the name. I like to put a pound sign, exclamation, or even a percentage sign in the front. This means it will go up to the very top of the email list when you click on the templates to use in an email. It also helps you keep your personal ones separate from the system ones. Something as simple as just a specific character icon there is going to help do the differentiation. And again, as Heather says, we've got some really great templates here. They're a good starting point. You could use them. I mean, they were written by a very talented writer, but at the same time, you also want to make things sound like they're coming from you. So go ahead, make the edits you want. One thing that's key is make sure your signature in there because they will automatically append your signature to any email that you send. So you don't want it to be blank at the bottom in there and just say nothing. So go ahead, make sure that's taken care of. And once you're done, you just save template. I'm going to just save this just because I can. And you're going to notice here, I have a brand new personal template.
And if I could just add to that too, really quickly, another thing, so when you take the ones that were already added from the system, you're going to hit the customize, but just make sure that once you've customized it that one time, you're not continuing customizing it. Because if you customize it again, it just creates duplicates every time. So after you've already customized it the one time, and then you need to make changes again to it, exactly where Glenn is showing you on the right-hand side, just go and make the edits to it. Because again, once you customize it, it duplicates it. So you don't want to end up having like the same email 10 times over.
You had actually read my mind. I was just going to mention that. If you do realize that you've made a mistake, just click on edit here, and it'll bring it up. You can make the changes and then it'll save on that. Now, as everything, if you need to get rid of it, we have a trash can. I'm going to throw this one in the trash. This is just going to delete the copy I made. You'll notice the original is still right there. So just remember, it is, I guess the best way to put it is our deletes are complete and destructive, meaning anything you delete is gone. So be 100% sure you want to delete something because it ain't coming back.
Well, that being said too, though, that's actually a really neat point that you picked up. So yes, deleting an email is pretty quick, or sorry, a template. However, when you're deleting a customer, it's not that easy, or a client. When you do hit the trash can, it will come up asking you to type out delete in uppercase. So we're really kind of hoping that you're not going to accidentally type out delete in uppercase. And delete those contacts, because once you do, it's going to be really hard to get them back, if not at all, without having that information. So we do make it a little bit more difficult to delete the clients.
Yeah, we don't want you to delete clients because that causes nothing but headache and heartache and yelling. And none of us likes yelling, either the one doing the yelling or the one receiving it. So again, really, and because of the fact that we brought this up, I'm going to actually click on this and then I'm going to click delete.
Yeah.
You'll notice until I type in delete in all caps, this is not allowed. So once I hit this button, it's gone. I'm not going to click it here, but it would be gone. So be 100%.
Perfect. So if we have a few questions, let's go over those, and then we're going to kind of dig into this some more.
Yep. So the majority of the questions are about the video. So on YouTube, you go to youtube.com and it will be under a playlist of Mastering Top Producer X, or Mastering Top Producer. Or is it Mastering Your CRM? We change the title every now and then. I keep forgetting which one I'm going with right now.
Talking about YouTube, and I'm glad you've got this right up in front of us. It says fake content. So any of the content information that we show on here is fake. It's not real customers. We just use this for demo purposing, just like it says fake contacts. Exactly.
Now, let's see. We had a couple other questions here. Can you add a section in the email templates? So that's a good question. The templates library are just these specific ones. Unfortunately, this time you can't add an extra section. and this is Bina asking this, and forgive me if I said your name wrong. It is just, you can put it into these specific titles. These are the ones that we found are the most commonly used. If you do have suggestions, and both Heather and I love to tell everybody about this, we have a button down here called feedback, which goes directly to our developers and our leadership team. The more you want to do, the more feedback you want to give, the better, because the only way we can make the program better is by hearing from you as to what we need. Birthday drip campaign. That's actually not a bad,
And
not a
maybe
bad
just
one.
creating an email for birthdays. I would probably put that under events.
Yeah, absolutely. Events would be a great spot to put that. Good call.
All right, so let's go back to our, there we go. So we kind of quickly went over tasks, plan managements, how to do that. We also have tons of tutorials that'll show you step-by-step how to do those as well, if you haven't already started. And auto response plans. So auto response plan, if you are using online leads that come in, say from Zillow or realtor.com, any online leads like that, you can set it up so they're automatically getting an email, text, market snapshot sent to them. As long as they're coming in with their name, email address, and a zip code, they will get that information. Talking about online leads, we also, which we will bring up a little bit later, but we also have a new program called Social Connect. If you don't already have it, it is a pretty neat lead program that brings in inquiring leads through Facebook and Instagram.
Now, I did just find another question here in our Q&A section, Heather, so if you don't mind. Bina actually mentioned social media connections. Now, I'm curious what you mean by social media connections, because we don't have direct connections from social media to top producer. We do have it where you can put your social medias in. And if I go back over to this and go back into top producer, if under my information, if you put all your social media links in here, on your marketing, there will be a button on the bottom that will have the icon for these. And I know Twitter has now been rebranded as X. Most of us still know it as, we'll fondly remember it as Twitter, but it will still connect the same way. But this is where that goes. And I hope that answers that question. That's the only social media connections that we have right now. You don't have a direct upload or download to or from any social medias.
Unless you're referring to our Social Connect, which is the new lead program. I'll just kind of quickly go over that now and how that works. And you wouldn't actually connect with your own social media, but how this would work. This is a new lead program that we do offer. It pulls, or we pull directly from your MLS for your active listings and your sold listings, and we create ads. So how it works is that you pick up to 5 cities that you want to target. Those are the people in those cities that you're targeting, and they're going to start seeing your ads. They're just ads. They're not actual listings. It's just to kind of get those people's attention. And again, it could be anyone clicking on those ads, buyers, sellers, people like looky-loos, people just kind of browsing, that'll click on your ad. And once they click over a couple times, like, yes, I'm interested, learn more, then they will come into your CRM as an inquiring lead. So those ads do go out onto social media, but not your own social media. So I hope that kind of answered that a bit.
Yep, that answered the question. Thanks, Heather.
Awesome. Perfect. So next slideshow, where are we at? Types. This is one of my favorites. Okay. So, and I really like this because the best thing I really like about the CRM is that you can really customize this the way you want to for organization. And that's the big thing about a CRM is being organized, because if you're organized, you're going to save time, and time is money, right? So let's do a little practice on how easy it is to customize this and make this your own. So if you see, like, sorry, on that slideshow, you'll see that I made up a couple little types as an example. So here,
you gotta go back. Sorry.
Oh, there we go. No, not a problem. And so like here, like efficiency, productivity, like these are things that will help for you to keep organized. And yes, at the beginning, it might be a little bit more work you need to put in, but then, you know, after that, you're ready to go. It's just as your customers are coming in, you're putting them in the right type, in the right status, and you're so organized that you don't know what to do with all this extra time. At least that's the hopes, right? So let's go ahead and show off how easy it is to create some types. Okay, so you'll see here already we have types where it says buyer first time. You can have any type that you want. If it's not already in the list to add it yourself, create it. So, there's so many different things you can use for types. You can have seniors or retirees, military. You can have them grouped by like different price points. Maybe you have a 200 to 500 or 500 to 800, so on and so on. Buyers, sellers are the normal types. But again, you can create whatever type works well for you in your business. So there's already a list of types available in here. Now, if whatever you want to add for type is not in the list, don't worry about it. Type it in, create your own types. And this is why you're going to customize it to make it work for you and your business because you're creating it. Heather made me type this. Okay, go ahead, press that. So we just created this type. So let's show you this because this I think is so cool about doing these types. So let's go ahead and close this customer. We're going to focus right now on how to do this to multiple. So we want to actually, you know what? Let's give 5 of these customers that type. Yep. So we're just going to go ahead and click on a few more. There we go. And we're going to give them the same type that we just created.
So to do this, there's 2 ways. Because the fact that I just created it on one client, you can just scroll through and find it. Or if I start typing her name, I will see I already have a Heather demo, but then Heather made me type this as here. I click on it and then hit add contact types.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have 6 people with that. And just to verify, if I click, I'm going to turn off the all selected and I'm going to click on the contact type. There they are.
Exactly. So the cool thing about this is that you've selected just these people and you want to send just them an email. Now that you've added and you searched for them, you can go ahead and send them all an email at the same time. I love this. I like organization. So of course I do love this.
Yep. And the advantage here is you have the people and you can go to any contact type you want just by clicking on it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you happen to, like I just jumped out of one contact type to another, I still have those other 6 selected. I could go back to them easily by clicking on selected up here.
Or unselect them by clicking right there on.
Yep. Exactly. And let's say I'm over here in the first time and it still has it. I can just click this X here to unselect them. Makes it easy. That way you don't have to jump around. You can do what you need in a quick, easy location.
Exactly. And another even easier way to do this, instead of having to search every single time you come in, because these are like your types that you always go to. And of course, your end, it might be your hot leads or hot sellers or whatever you want to call it. But let's just say this is a type that you would go to often. So instead of having to search it every time, you're going to create a tab across the top. So up in the right-hand part of your screen, right beside where it says add contact, you have it. Yeah, it looks like a little settings gear. You're going to click on there, click create tab. And you're going to call this tab whatever you want to call it. Heather made me do this. Nope. Heather wants this here. So we're going to do this by type, but nope, don't go any further yet. We're going to also add Heather demo. So we're going to say, we're going to add 2 different types to this tab, just because you can see what it looks like. There you go, create tab. So now every contact that has Heather demo and Heather me, anyways, you get the point. So anyone that has those types is now going to go under this tab. Again, and this tab's always going to be here. You can take this tab and you can drag it and put it in any order that you want. Exactly.
Now, Heather says it will always be there, but there is an option. If you no longer need this tab that has her 2 specific contact types, you can just drag it down or up. And when you see it go pink there, if you let go, you'll see me putting Heather in the garbage.
Just put me in the trash. It's okay. Yep.
But you'll notice the contacts are still here. It just deletes that tab. It does not delete your contacts.
Exactly.
We have a couple of questions here.
Absolutely. Let's get them.
Yes. So can you show how to mass upload contacts, please?
Mass upload, like import them maybe from a CSV file.
If you
Are
are
they
trying
already
to,
on your CRM?
yeah, if you're trying to import, you would have to go to settings and then import contacts.
Mhm. And it
Then,
has to be on a CSV file
yeah,
to import
it
them.
has to be what's known as a CSV or a comma separated value. You just choose the file you want to import and then match the specific titles to each. And I'm pretty sure we do have a video for that on support.topproducer.com, which I will find in a moment. I will get that and I'll post it in the chat for you here. I just want to answer the next question as well.
Thank you. Thank
John
you.
asks, when I send out a mass email, how do I insert the contact's first name in the address? Like, hi, blank.
Yep. Merge codes. So we're going to show you how to do this. On the templates that are already created in the system, they already have merge codes added, but we could show you how to do this if you are creating your own. Yeah, so let's just say you're creating your own template from scratch. There's a Muppet. Muppeteer. There we go. You're going to get in so much trouble later.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, right?
Hello. Okay, so let's say hello, Brian, or who's John? John's asking. So let's, yeah, there you go. So when you're creating your own, you type in what you want to type in, and then to add your merge codes is down in the bottom right corner. And it looks like those little squiggly brackets, I like to call them, or your fancy brackets. So you click there and it'll have your merge codes, first name, last names. It even has I believe agents info. So it'll say like agent's website, agent's phone number, mobile. So when you put in that, that is actually pulling from your My Information page with having these merge codes in here. So if you send it to 10 people, yes, it's going to pull everyone's first name. Also, if you send to 10 people, they only see you send it to them, not to the other 9. So it is sending out individually. Yes. So how here Glenn put agent's first name.
Yeah.
So this will be pulling from your My Information page. Whatever info you put in there, it will pull from there.
And to do an example of that, I will save the template. And then I'm going to go back to contacts. I'm going to pick 5 of them. Now remember, you can do up to 100 per email. 100 email addresses. If you do 100 people and it doesn't have 100 email addresses, it will just remove those. But then we just click on here and it's going to bring up an email and I can choose the one I want. Now, where did I put new? It will be down here in other because I didn't set any type of specific section for it. When I hit select template, you're going to notice the first name it has is Lavinia Abney. And again, these are fake names, so I'm not going to insult anybody if I say it wrong. Now, look at this. Agent first name didn't work. So there must be something wrong with how we have the first name set up in our account here.
Go check out the settings.
Yeah, so we're just
this is where this merge code is going to pull from.
So we're going to go to settings and we're going to go to My Information.
And the display name is empty.
Right, so let's do it that way. I'll put her first. Ladies first always, right?
I was thinking the same thing.
So we'll go back over here and I will try it again and hit select template and it's still having a problem. Now the reason for that is because I abuse this test account.
Or sign out and sign back in.
Yeah, I'll probably have to do that.
Yeah, you'll see. Sometimes when you make changes like that, you may not see it immediately.
Always whenever we're trying to show something cool that the abused account comes back to say, you've abused me too much. Just grab 4. Right, it needs a moment or two to reconnect to the email. Now, this, you might see this every now and then, and actually that's a great example of something. Because of the fact that we don't store your email passwords in Top Producer, when you make the integration, it will actually just create what's known as a token between top producer and your email provider. That token does have to go through verification. Email provider, like for the account that we've got attached to this, it's a Gmail. It just reaches out to Gmail to make sure that we're still authorized to have the connection. Usually just takes a moment or two. Mine here is still in needs reauthorization, so I won't be able to do emails for a couple of minutes.
There we go.
Or it could make a liar out of me by going to running, because, you know, it likes to do that to me. But now we'll go over here. We'll click on email. I'm going to go down here and choose this.
And
And
it's still not.
all right,
Pages
I will
are
fix it.
open.
Under normal circumstances, that won't give you that issue. That is, again, I abuse this account because it is a testing account. Heather and I are both part of what we call our customer success team for onboarding, just to make sure you get a successful transition into your software and the future. I'm also considered what they call a tier 2 or a senior tech, which means I abuse our software to find problems that could affect you before you do and get them fixed before they actually become a problem. This is one of those ones that I've been abusing too much, and I'll have to double check that and get that fixed. Sorry, Heather. I broke
No,
it.
not a problem. And actually, talking like what Glenn said about success team. So we do these webinars every other Wednesday. We're doing this now, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And what is it? Is it 11, I guess, in the West Coast?
11 a.m. Pacific.
And so we're here every other Wednesday. It doesn't cost you a thing, just show up. And we also put the recorded video on YouTube for you. However, if that's not enough information and you need more one-on-one, we do offer a concierge that you can meet with one of us, myself, Glenn, and we have a couple other people on our onboarding team that you can also meet with. And we really get, we get in there and show you how to use it, and we get you all set up and make sure that you're really comfortable with the CRM.
Yep. I'm just trying to find that import video to put in.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, you need me to go back to your slide deck, don't you?
Like,
Sorry.
I don't know what we're going over next. Oh, some cool features. This is another one actually of my favorite, property insights. Now, this is more for if you're working with buyers versus sellers. It's for you. Again, it's one of those tools that is going to keep you very organized. And I always like to ask my agents this when I'm meeting with them. How do you keep a list, or how do you keep saved all the homes that you showed your buyers? So you're working with a buyer and you show them 10, 15 properties. I don't know if that's the norm, but you're showing them a lot of properties. Where do you keep that stored? Where are you keeping that information? A lot of the times you're printing it off. You might have it in a folder somewhere. That's great too. And I'm sure you have your ways that it's maybe a habit, and that's what you're used to. But this is also a great way to stay digitally, like having your digital information saved for you. Also, it's everything all in one place. It pulls right from the MLS too. So let's kind of go and do a little practice for that.
Okay,
Show you how that works.
Get back over here.
Yeah, I'm using Glenn again.
Use and abuse every day, all day.
Every day, all day. Oh, come on. It's not that bad.
Help me.
Right. So we're going to go to property insights, and this is for you to stay organized. You're working with a buyer. So in the top, now, before I go any further, you've already added your MLS credentials to pull from your MLS to use this. Okay. And so you're going to go up to add insight in the top right. And a couple ways you can do this. You can either pull it from the MLS ID, or you can type in the address. Make sure when you're typing in the address, because it will pull exact. So you're going to see a drop down. If you keep going and it says can't be found, it's because you're typing in the wrong address. Just go back and wait for that drop down to come up. So if you're a really fast typer, just slow down a little bit. Not too slow, but so you'll see here that this one's popping up in Blaine because this is the MLS that we're connected to. So we're going to go ahead here. There you go. So let's just say, for example, inquired on. So I'm the customer. I was out driving around over the weekend and I saw this beautiful home for sale. And so I contacted my realtor, Glenn, and said, hey, I saw this home for sale. I'd really like to go have a look at it. So you're going to add this to Property Insights as inquired on. So I inquired on it, but I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and save Property Insights. Okay, so that's one of the homes. And again, you can have all your 10 homes in here. Once I've inquired on it, you can change it to shown or interested or not interested. Heather thinks this is cute. Even not. I'm going back to Paris. I almost forgot for a second.
Yeah, right.
Even though it's not in Paris, it does have a balcony, which is really nice. So this is a really cool part. I really like this, is that when you leave notes, what they liked, what they didn't like about it, go ahead and click on that little pad right there. There you go. And in here, you're going to type in, she forgot she was going to Paris. I leave in a month. If any of you have been or haven't been, you need to go. It's amazing. I love it, but I go solo too. So there's a little bit of, it's a different kind of traveling. All right. She's going to Paris. It's been a busy week. So, so these notes that you make are really cool. You click that little notepad, but that's what I wanted to show you, is that they do go under your other notes as well. You'll also see them on your dashboard. So everything kind of ties together really nicely.
And now, just so that it doesn't look like I'm picking on Heather, I can delete these notes as well. Even though, you know, we pick on each other all the time, it is allowed. But there you go. If you do have a note that's in the wrong place, you can remove it. I would say don't tell too many people if that actually works. Just main agents like yourself should know that, so that nobody deletes an important note that might have been required later, just to cover in case they forgot something.
If you're sharing your CRM, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Property Insights really quickly. So let's just say, you know, I liked this home. I put in an offer. So let's go made offer. And what's the next thing you do? You add your transaction. So again, it's just some really cool steps. If you work with buyers and you want to stay organized, use this feature. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And one of the advantages of using this add transaction button here, instead of having to now go in and create a new transaction for the client, because you'll notice I have none, I can go in here to Property Insights. I've made an offer. I'm going to add the transaction right here. Right off the bat, you see all the details are still there, brought from the MLS. And because we do have a one-way synchronization, any updates or changes that are made on the MLS will show up in Top Producer. The only things you need to add are the property type. We'll call this a single family home because it's only got, what, 3 beds and 4 baths. Can't have more than just a single family in there. It has the listing date. You can use all these other dates as key dates. So we're going to say offer date was today, and offer expiration date, we'll give them until roughly, we'll give them to Halloween to agree to that. And then the only other thing you have to do is put in a percentage. I have no idea what type of a percentage realtors get. I'm just going to put a 1 there because I have no clue.
I think they get a little bit more than that.
I click add transaction and all that information is right here and ready. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, as I like to say. You just have it. It's ready to go. It's ready to rock. You also notice I put in a offer date of today. So there's a check mark and there is a time saying the offer expires on the 31st. So you do get a timeline of those key dates that I just mentioned.
One of the one of the best ways to do this is go in and create a fake transaction under your name, because hopefully by now you've already added yourself in the system. But this is where you want to go into your account and just kind of play around with it. And you're like, okay, I get this. This makes sense now. You're not going to learn it until you're using it, until you're actually doing it yourself.
Exactly. All right.
Let's go ahead and close here. And I think we should maybe cover market snapshot. We're going to do this really quickly, but I'm going to, I don't even know if it is the next thing. Give me Island.
You'd almost think you had written this deck.
Oh, it's been a while. So, but I think the market snapshot is a really cool feature. if you do have Market Snapshot. If you don't, and you do need to have an MLS that we support in order to use this, but it's neat. And one of the reasons I really love it is that because you can actually see your customers' activity. Also, your information on the My Information page that goes out to marketing goes onto your Market Snapshot as well. So it is branded with your name on it. But again, all the information that your customers see, if they see what the market looks like, as well as they see properties available for sale, they click on it, all that info is pulled directly from the MLS. And if they like it, there's a little heart saying, do you like this? You'll get notified that, you know, Sue liked, I'm just making up a name here, liked 2809 Magnolia Boulevard. That's obviously from the, what is 5th Street? We will go over 5th Street in just a moment. So let's have a quick look at Market Snapshot. So we're gonna do a little demo Market Snapshot. Now, you can use Market Snapshot for both sellers and buyers because it's showing you the market. So sending it to a seller, you would target, we'll send it to a buyer. We're going to do a practice one. Couple ways you can send it. You can send it right from the contact record. You can also go through, the marketing, what Glenn just did, and click on Market Snapshots. And on the right-hand side, we'll go send Market Snapshot.
Now this, as Heather said, you can go through a contact. I like that one better because of the fact that you already have all of this information down the side. So when you go to snapshot and send,
it pulls their info. Yeah.
You've got it already there.
Now, the thing is about sending it to a seller, if you were going to do that, you're targeting their specific address because, so for example, you're working with a seller and they want to know what they can get for their home. You send them a Market Snapshot, you say, you know, based on your location and similar homes, this is what the market looks like. So you're physically showing them. People really like that.
I would pick a Canadian one, wouldn't I? Which one? Now, here's the advantage. With a US zip code, you put in all 5. With a Canadian postal code, I can put either all S6V, or I can, just like that, or I can also go with the 6A4 portion. So for our Canadian friends, you could just put the first 3 letters, or first 3 characters, since we have that mixed one here, and then it'll still work. Sorry, Heather, just had to interrupt there. Go ahead, back to puppeteering.
Not a problem. So this one here, we are setting up as a seller, but also note that when you're sending to a buyer, it still looks the same. The Market Snapshot looks the same, just you kind of use it for different purposes. And again, if you were sending to a buyer, you're going to say search within the criteria that they're looking for. You know, like how many bedrooms they want, how many bathrooms they want, what is there. If they've been approved, you want to put in like the max approval. Hopefully, if you're sending your customer a Market Snapshot, that they've already been pre-approved. Yeah, and I mean, some people get fussy, like they want like a specific year that it's been built.
So now I'm going to change this over to a buyer. Now the difference between buyer and seller. Buyer will put a pin in the middle of that zip or postal code for you, and that way it'll radiate out from there. The buyer or the seller one will put the pin right on the address. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a connection in my top producer for the city of Prince Albert in Saskatchewan. So if I were to try to preview listings down here, it's going to say nothing because I don't have access to that. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to scroll up to the top here. I'm going to change it to a buyer, and I'm going to delete all this stuff. Go up to select state, and I'm going to put in the zip code for Blaine, Washington.
That's that we're connected to.
Yeah. It helps.
Yeah. Also, when you're setting a Market Snapshot, it is going to pull from your MLS. So you can't get properties that are on other MLSs that you don't belong to.
Yep. So there, now that I've put in a proper MLS ID, as in the proper zip code, yeah, you can see I'm getting 160 listings.
Now we're also, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You probably were going to say the same
I was just
thing.
going to say, we're just doing this as a demo. So obviously 160 is not something you would send to a buyer. And with that being said, we only send 100 at a time. But if you were sending to a buyer, you probably want to limit it to like maybe 20 listings. give or take, when you're sending to a buyer. Because I know if I was buying a house, I wouldn't want to be overwhelmed looking at like way too many houses, right? Like, so then obviously you put in more credentials and it will bring that number down.
I brought it down by 3. All right, let's see. 750123, and we'll go 1.
Yeah, when you're putting the prices in, just make sure like no decimal points.
That
Pretty nice.
dropped it significantly.
And it's, yeah, exactly. Much better. So you're always going to want to preview this. I suggest before sending it out. Let's just say you're happy with this search and you send your market snapshot.
Now, while this is doing, I'm going to really quickly answer the question. Bina had one more question. Is there a lead form that you recommend utilizing in order to import leads from various formats of communications? Example, jot form, gravity, et cetera, et cetera. So we don't have one we recommend. So what we do have is, and this is under admin, okay? If you go into your settings and go to lead providers, we give you an email address that if you give it to your lead provider or your lead, it is provider, right? Yeah, lead provider.
Yeah, lead provider.
Wow, sorry. The little rat fell off the wheel. Had to get him back on. You go to your specific lead provider, and on the lead forwarding or lead parsing, you would put this email in there and it'll forward directly into your top producer. So hopefully that one helps you out. It is a great way to get info. We do have over 150 different providers that we are already directly working with, but as long as they have the ability to forward it and they forward it in the right format, you'll get it without a problem.
There is a list. It does say lead providers we support. However, I would try, if it's not in that list, just try and upload it or try to see if you can add that email to your provider and test it out.
So now let me go back to our snapshot that we were testing. And look, it's been sent.
Yay. So let's go ahead. This is the part that I like here, where you can see the statistics. So the activity, if your customers have actually, if they open the email that you sent them with the market snapshot, and if they've been clicking on it or not. So when you're working with a customer and you send them this and they're not looking at it, that just kind of gives you another talking point. Like, hey, don't forget, I sent you a market snapshot, have a look at it and let me know what you think. That kind of gives you like a good perspective on how interested they are. Now, to see what they're seeing, we're going to click on view report, and this is what your market snapshot looks like. Again, it does look the same both for a seller and a buyer. And so another thing to keep in mind, when you're sending to a buyer, yes, you want the sold properties on there. And the reason why is because if you take them off, it's going to say average sold price 0%, homes for sale 0%. You don't want it to say that, because then the market doesn't look good. You want them to see that houses are selling and where they want to buy. So, but if you're sending to a buyer and you don't want them to have to scroll through the 29 solds on this report, you could just check it off or tell them to check it off. So what we want you to do is get familiar with the market snapshot, send one to yourself, test, like, you should be educated with it so you can educate your customers. And when they have questions for you, you understand.
One moment here, Heather. I just realized that I did skip over John's question about what is 5 Street.
Yes.
Let me explain that. 5 Street is a secondary program that we offer. It is designed more for teams. What it is it's an automatic responder to leads. So when you get a lead, you have it filter into your 5 Street. 5 Street will then check the criteria and it will send it to the specific agent that would be chosen for that, or an agent in a row. So if you're a solo agent, you really don't need to worry about 5 Street. It's more for a group or a team. It can be used in a way of making sure everybody gets leads, so it would go in a round robin type. Or if you're really into having everybody fight for the leads, you can just have it so it goes to everybody, and whoever gets it first gets it.
Yeah, so I really only use 5 Street as if you have a team. And I'll also answer John's question here too about sending to a seller. You can't put in the miles or kilometers for Canadians. However, you can put in zip codes as well as areas or even subdivisions actually. So the more information you put in for that. Exactly. Let's go. We'll go back to the edit. go back to snapshot form. Yeah. So here you can search within cities, within states. Now, city can be pretty big. So, I mean, obviously one side of the city, their price point might be different than the other side, but this is where you can add areas and or subdivisions.
Yeah. I do understand what you're looking for. You'd like to have a specific range outside of that. We don't have that built in. It is something that we have asked our developers to look into. I just don't have any updates on that. I do know it's something that we would love to see in there because a lot of people have said this would be a feature they'd like to see.
Absolutely.
Okay, where do you need me
Again,
to go
I
next?
say test it out and send it to yourself so you can see what that looks like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where to now, Miss Heather?
All right. So we went over the market snapshot, property insights. I didn't mention about if you can add top producer to your cell phone as well. So on the go, which is great, especially because you're not at your office very often. We'll go back to this in a second. But you're not at your office very often, and or you don't want to have to remember this information, come back and sit in front of a computer and remember what you went over. So just pull it out on your cell phone and put this information in, or your tablet. So you can add top producer to anything that's mobile as well. Your laptops, your PCs, your mobile or your phone, your tablets. So you're just going to go to your browser and type in crm.topproducer.com. There's a couple different ways if you have a Apple versus if you have an Android. And if you have an Android, you'll see in the top right corner, there's 3 little dots. You click on there and it says add to home screen. And then it's just a quick click to get into your top producer. Same with for Apple, you're going to log into Safari, go to crm.topproducer.com. And in the bottom middle of your page at the bottom, you have a little, looks like a little square with an arrow pointing up. You click on there and that'll say add to home. You'll have to kind of, I think, scroll through and that should say add to home screen as well.
And I have a video for that.
There we go. Even better. Perfect. So yeah, Glenn just added that there, the video, so you can check that out. That'll show you exactly how to add it if you haven't already added it to your phone.
There we go.
All right. Also, Glenn did note, or he pointed out the feedback. So we can quickly go over that. We have, if you have any ideas that you want to see come to top producer, some people have already made the ideas. If it's already there, give it a little thumbs up, like you like that idea. Our developing team goes in and checks this, I believe, weekly, because we are definitely building this to make sure that, you know, you're happy with it as a realtor. So we are kind of coming near an end. So before we completely close off, please, if you have any more questions, let us know here. What do we have for our next coming soon? Yeah. So also with the feedback, we have too, like what's new. It'll, when we do put any kind of new features out on here, it's usually highlighted. This is new. It'll give you like a little rundown on how to use that as well. And if you're still like, not really sure, reach out to our chat and they'll help you.
One of the advantages to the what's new is we also put coming soon, and 2 very much requested features are on the coming soon. This one, I'm hoping, a dashboard for Top Producer X, so you can see exactly what you've got on the plan for today, most recent emails and texts and all that, so that when you log in, you have everything right at your fingertips. We're hoping to have it before the end of the year, fingers crossed, because this is going to be a great way to actually streamline a lot of your day-to-day. And we've heard our search kind of leaves much to be desired. So we actually had a head of development ask all of us in the company what we would like to see in a search. We submitted that based on feedback from customers. So we talked as if we were giving the info from you directly to the head of development. They're working on that. We're hoping to have that one out as quickly as possible. That way you can do searches for certain things like whoever has a certain last name or specific phone numbers, or even we ask them to put in one where, you know, some lead providers send a lead without a name attached. Be nice to be able to search out who doesn't have a name in their account. So hopefully soon. What you got next, Heather?
I don't know. You tell me what's this.
What's next? Oh, we have that says what's new, and then we go over here. Social Connect.
Social
Don't we
Connect, which
talk
we
about
did
this?
actually go over briefly. Social Connect, again, this is our new lead program. So if you didn't sign up for this and this is something you may be interested in, please reach out to us. Let us know. Either let us know in the chat here, let us know through chat. We can have our sales rep reach out to you. If you do like to have leads coming in, I really think this is a great way to bring people into your system for an affordable price. I know, like, I was speaking to one of the agents and he gave me an idea of how much they were paying for some leads online, and it was thousands. So I was shocked. I was completely shocked how much they were paying. They have a team, but still, like, I was just, my mind was blown. So this here, the smaller package starts at $250 a month. That brings in, but they're not guaranteed leads, but that's okay. They're inquiring leads. They are, we're reaching people that are already looking at the market. So you pick the 5 cities, it targets people based on an algorithm that are already searching the housing market, that then see your ads. They click on it once, they say learn more, they come into, like, it takes them like 3 clicks to come in. So chances are they are more interested versus not. This is just where you do your job, do your magic, and reel them in to make them an active lead.
Yeah, the best way to explain Social Connect, Heather's giving you the overview, the high level. I'm going to give you the, as we used to use back in high school, the Coles Notes version. We create an ad for you. Somebody inquires. It comes into Top Producer right away. Then it's up to you to see if you can turn that inquiry into a lead and then finally into a lifetime client.
Also, another thing that I didn't mention too is that when they come into your CRM, they get automatic emails, automatic market snapshot, automatic text if you have that set up. So they'll get all that information. All you have to do is reach out and call them. I mean, you could sit back and not do anything, but the likelihood of you actually getting in touch with them quicker would be to call them. So that would be my suggestion.
I concur. She has a good point. Wow, I just said she has good point. My English just completely failed.
And if you do sign up for it, then you get to meet us one-on-one, and we'll give you some more talking points on how you can do that.
And this here gives a exact explanation of how it works with people are going to be scrolling. Everybody social scrolls, but they do stop on ads. I know I stop on ads all the time. They're going to fill in the form and it'll automatically be filled in since they're logged into Instagram or Facebook. It'll come to you immediately, an email or a text will be sent. And then you just have to make sure everything is going along. And most importantly, like Heather said, make that phone call. I mean, we will send emails and text messages up to 4 months, but that's only half the battle. The other half is reaching out and talking to the customer. People do still like that personal touch nowadays, don't they?
Absolutely. And that's a thing too, like you can make them like it's local, right? Because you can pick the cities that you want. And I mean, we've had some people have some success in getting people that are maybe a potential seller. I mean, the thing is that people are going to come in or they're going to click on these ads. They're not going to be ready to buy today. Very unlikely buy or sell today. It's always a process, right? So, but what you want to do is kind of get in there and become their realtor. So when they're ready in 3-4 months from now, you're the person that they're already speaking to.
Yeah. And as that link I just put into chat a couple of minutes ago shows you how to get your top producer into your pocket, because we are mobile friendly. Works just the same. And here's the one advantage I like to say: you don't have to download an app. You're not going to have to go out and get a app from the App Store or Google Play Store. You're not going to have to hope that it's the most up-to-date and recent version. And you're also not going to have to worry about synchronization between the app and the system. If you just go to the website, log in, and use the information we put there, you can actually make a little button on your home screen so it looks like it's an app. It goes in, but it goes directly to your top producer. So you have your whole database in the palm of your hand, anywhere that you have either cellular or Wi-Fi service. Gotta say that, but it will be fully available anywhere and anytime.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So now it's just our resources. And again, so like I said earlier, we do offer this every other Wednesday. Free webinar, come and check us out. We also post this video on YouTube for you afterwards. We also do onboarding. So if you really want more one-on-one time, and to really help you get started with your CRM, suggest some ideas, have some talking points, reach out to us, and either myself, Glenn, and we have a couple other people on our onboarding team, which are really great at getting you set up. So let us know if that's something you're interested in. We also have support.topproducer.com. So that is our support site. There's all kinds of information on there, video library, how-to guides. You can type in like how to send an email. It'll give you step-by-step. So you really can't go wrong. We have lots of information with our blog, YouTube page, and Facebook. So, and it's great too, because you can kind of connect with other agents as well and get some ideas from them.
Yeah, and our Facebook group is monitored by top producer employees, so we are able to answer questions there as well. And again, like I say, we do have our customer care team that are available Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, and our human. I will always re-emphasize that. No chat GPT answering. It is a human being on the other side.
I love that. I mean, I'm going to say I love ChatGPT too. Like, I mean, it can really do a lot of work for you, but when it actually comes to talking to somebody and wanting to get a direct answer in that case, like having a conversation, I do like that we're real people. I like chats, but I only like them when they're real people.
Yep. And we also, if you have a non-time specific or time crunch question, you can always email our support team at support@topproducer.com. We usually get those answered within 24 hours. A lot of times they're a lot faster because the team is able to monitor them during the busy working hours. If they get a moment away from their chats or their phone calls, they're going to do email and get taken care of. And again, as Heather has mentioned a couple of times, and I'm very much a proponent of this, we do have a one-on-one experience. It does make it easier because then you're not going into the software wondering. We give you a good overview. We are one-on-one. I hope we're showing as we're personable from this. I mean, I know Heather's very personable, but I hope I'm kind of showing too. But we do like to have some fun, help you out, and learning is not always super fun because it is a lot of dry stuff, but we try to make it interesting. We do have that onboarding, and if you just go to topproducer.com/onboarding, you can take a look at the packages, and we'd be happy to spend a couple hours with you going over the software.
Absolutely. I do see, looks like John's hands up. I don't know if maybe he's asked his questions. If you have any more questions, John, please ask that in the chat here and we'll definitely help you out before we get going. But we are coming up to an end here. That's a wrap. So if you have any more questions, we will hang out here for a second. Please let us know. And otherwise, thank you so much for joining us. And hopefully some of this information that we've gone over with you today has kind of helped you learn a little bit more about the CRM.
Printing the chat from this, I don't actually have a way. Is there specific things you need, John, like the links sent to you? Because I could always just get those sent to you in an email.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The other option is you should be able to highlight the whole chat and right click to copy and then
Links would be helpful.
yeah, okay. I'll send you the links that we sent here today and all the links that we have. Let me just make sure I have your email address, which is probably, is your account under your name? I think I spelled wrong. Yeah, I've got an email address here for you. I will send you all the links that we have. And that way you'll have access to that. And we will also look to see about a way to get this webinar emailed out to everybody so you can have it, or it'll be up on YouTube, hopefully before the end of the day, because that is something that I'm supposed to do. And I do have this thing called a bad memory. So Heather, remind me not.
I'll remind them.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. We'll be back in a couple more weeks and hopefully we'll see you again.
Hope you all have a great rest of your week and a great weekend, and take care. Thanks for joining us for this just over an hour presentation today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.